She went right back to the streets. Guys, she went right back to the streets. I am jumping right into this video. I wasn't intending to talk about my ex-girlfriend, you know, unless up and until and unless she crossed my path, right? So it just makes for a great conversation. And I'm driving, what the heck? So I might as well just talk about it and drive in my V8 C63S AMG and talk about it. So just recently on the dating apps, I've talked about dating apps on my YouTube channel and how social media and dating apps have essentially, in my opinion, and I think most would agree, that it has ruined relationships. Actually, there is no incentive for you to stay committed or loyal because of the options that you have. And I'm not talking about us fellas. We don't have options like they do, unless you're like a supermodel 6'10" Chad, Tyrone, and even then, it's not all that it's cut out to be. Now, for ladies, if you're on the scale of 1 to 10, even if you're a 5, you would still have more options than the average looking guy or a semi good looking dude. Now, I say all this to give you context that the dating market is so effed out there that you're not missing out on a damn thing. If you have a good situation, a good girl next to you, a good girlfriend, whatever you into, I'm talking about heterosexual straight relationships here, right? But I can tell you firsthand that I'm experiencing a lot of these drawbacks of being in the dating market. And although I'm on dating apps, I do a whole lot better just approaching girls, women in person. So going back to my ex-girlfriend, lo hold and behold, she went right back to the streets. So what do I mean by that? I mean that on Tinder, it's exactly how we met. And my one-liner to her was, hey, let's grab a drink. Not even that. Let's grab a drink. That was nearly 2 years ago. And we met up for a drink at MGM. I talk about this, by the way. You can take a look at my playlist and look for the Colombian girl. She's on there. I've shared some great memories with her. Don't get me wrong, she's still a great girl. She's confused. That's all, just like most of them are. But I would add, like, I got nothing really bad to say about her, because in comparison to American women, the westernized, the masculine types, the boss girl bees, and acting like a man, I'm not into all that crap. Like, I've never bought into the woke stuff, the woke ideology. I'm just not that guy. So F all that. That's how I look at it. But my ex-girlfriend ended up back on Tinder. So I literally came across her profile 2 days ago, and I just sort of marinated the fact, let me be very honest, right? Because you want to see the real honest side. I gave that girl the princess treatment. Like, I am talking about top of the world dining at Stratosphere, right? That's on the 108th floor, I believe. Keep me honest, Vegas locals, if I messed that up, but I believe it's on 108th floor dining. The whole thing rotates. I documented this last year during my birthday. Check out that video. It's on the Colombian Girlfriend playlist on my channel, of course. And for New Year's Eve, I dropped about nearly $1,200 just for the two of us to experience fine dining at the Bellagio Fountain. There's a deck that rolls out into the water, which is the lake, sort of the fountain area. It's in the middle of the strip. If you know what I'm talking about. Spagos, that's the restaurant specifically. What an experience that was, right? And outside of that, most times I was whining and dining, like we were going out. And here's why I take this on me, is because I am relatively new to Vegas. If I was living in California, this is not my style. This is not my cup of tea to go out all the time. Now, I got her into meal prepping. I would make her food. She loved my cooking. In fact, many times she asked me to cook for her. So my meal preps have a zest to it, spice, herbs, right? Everyone has their own flavor in making food, right? So she liked to see my hands chopping things and making food. So there's some traditional qualities in International Woman that I was seeing, right, in the kitchen. And she would volunteer to wash the dishes. And then we would have a fun time, right? Intimate times, intimate moments. But I can tell you, most times we were going out. Like, I wanted to go out. Like, I was in that zone. Like, I wanted to go out. I didn't work last year for one whole year, but I had enough capital saved up to sort of sustain myself, but I didn't even realize that I was spending a lot of money going out. Guys, having a girlfriend, okay, let alone having like a consistent just dating period, and if you have a serious girlfriend, it's expensive to maintain that lifestyle. Like, I'm talking about $200-300 every week just goes, right? And maybe more. So I would try my best to make the drinks at home, but typically we would just go out. I would encourage it is because I wanted to enjoy Vegas, and I'm like, if not now, then when, right? So she's back on the streets, guys. And why do I say back on the streets? Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel, Plenty of Fish, just to name a few, right? A few. I named quite a few there. And I've been on all of them. And it's an ish show, right? You're not going to find a guy. I'm not saying she's not going to do better, but here's the catch in all of this. When I met her and matched her 2 years ago, she was right about 26, on the verge of turning 27. So technically she was still 26. I met her at a time when she still had a few years in her, meaning that right now as we stand, she's 29 years old, right? That driver was on her fucking phone driving. Excuse my French here. But anyway, so she's 29. And so when I saw that, and I knew letting her go was the best thing to happen. And as I talk about, all the signs were there on why I broke up with her. The sex got less, right? Meaning that she wasn't as enthusiastic about sex. And then also, I was always making the move. I was always planning dates. I had to keep it entertaining. And honestly, I was funding a lot of this, partly because I wanted to have fun. I wanted to enjoy Vegas. And then also, I enjoy the food that Vegas has to offer. So the dining aspects of it, right? And it's my experience being in Vegas. And she just came along for the ride. Now, as a 27, 28-year-old girl, why would you say no to all of that, right? And I get it. So, and she sort of deserved it because she was very feminine. She was nice. She had an anger to her, like a spiciness to her, right? But that's with most Spanish women, especially if they're good looking, they're cute. You know, that it just amps it up even more with the accent and just the little bit of anger and sarcasm that they have. I like it. I don't mind it. I can deal with it. I have the patience to deal with it. So all of that treatment, year and a half, I took her to the Messi game when Inter Miami played this other Mexican team at Allegiant Stadium. We had like nice seats. Great. I mean, we had a fun ass time. It's all documented on my playlist. If you're curious to check it out, you can tune in and look at all those timelines, that events that we did go to, right, and attend. So I would say rather lavish, fine life. Guys, she's 29, and you know what happens at 29. Most girls at 29, they start hitting that panic button, the buzzer beater, right, because she wants kids. And she's also got the genetically, she actually told me that in her family, genetics are not in their favor. So she was already gaining a little bit of weight. And don't get me wrong, she looked amazing. Even till now, she looks decent. But I think she's gained at least 5 pounds. She was already fit, if you know what I mean. So I enjoyed her company, companionship, and the intimacy in her prime, I would say, like semi-prime. Right, 26, 27, 28, you know, sort of. When she turned 29, we broke up, like right after her birthday. I gave her a great time for Valentine's, great time for her birthday, and then we broke up. I could just see that coming from a mile away. That was just my formality send-off, like, you know what, I already know this is over. I'm just going to give you a good time and leave it on a good memory. And I was to a point where you just don't ask, because I knew what was going on, and my guess is that she was already sort of. Guys, let me tell you, you ain't the only one. Even if you are the boyfriend, even if you are the husband, okay, she's gonna have a pipeline. And I talk about this as authentic and as real as I can keep this. I'm going through a tunnel. It's gonna clear here in Vegas. This is the bypass. I'm bypassing the Harry Reid International Airport en route to work. So you are not the only one. No matter how good you treat her, like, you notice most girls don't post their boyfriends in pictures in a way where it's obvious that she has a boyfriend, right? No matter how good you treat her, and you could be You could check off all the boxes. You could be the 6'6" Chad, 6 foot car, 6 foot height, right? Six figure salary, V8 car, V6, whatever. All the 6'6" you know what? What else, right? Like you could check up all those boxes, man. It's never gonna be good enough. There are they are continuously talking to other dudes out there, and I wouldn't say the same for me. Now, I was flirtatious, but I think that mine was very harmless. Like a smile. There's nothing wrong in smiling with a cashier or a server and having small talk, right? She would in front of me several times, and we were both sort of wasted drunk. But I got to see it, and I noticed, and I earmarked it, and I gave her the pass that she's only 26, 27. That's all right. I said to myself, hey, Renil, you've lived life a lot, right? So you got to let her just be. So I gave her a lot of freedom. Here's my reasoning is that as long as she came home, we went home together and we had a moment, if you know what I mean, right? So she was, I forgave a lot, and quite rightly so. In that sense, is that I'm not cutting myself short, guys. She was nice, she was cute, she was fitter, and her accent, man, I was just such a sucker for that Colombian Spanish accent. And I was teaching her English, I was teaching her how to drive, and I took care of some of her car repairs, just to kind of give you an idea of how I treated her. She wanted the princess treatment, man, I gave her the princess treatment. Ironically, I also talk about why the princess treatment fails, and why you should just err on the side of caution on who and how much of the treatment you give to just any girl, right? You got to be picky about that, because that's your resources, time, attention, currency, energy going to this chick. So you want to quickly decipher through short-term, long-term, and for fun, or a fling, right? You got to draw the line and know how much are you going to invest emotionally as well, not just financially. So this one took a little bit of toll on me. So when I saw her on the dating apps, and I said to myself, wow, because I had not seen her since we broke up on Tinder, and I think she deactivated her profile. And I God knows what's happened since February. That's when we broke up. But my guess is, she's probably had the effing around and all that kind of stuff, right? So she's probably slept with someone in her own circle, right? So meaning the cultural circle. And so now she's back on Tinder looking for a serious relationship. But I don't think she's looking for a serious relationship. I still think she went back to the streets because she knows better. I wish she finds someone who can treat her better than I did and who is way more wealthier than I am, but I doubt she will. Again, guys, she's 29. She's 6-7 months away from about there from turning 30, right? And she's looking sort of the mature. She's pretty, but you can tell that side, when 30 hits and onward, she's going to age quickly, and I can see it. Unfortunately, she's not one of those girls that's got that really cute, pretty face, but she's pretty enough. Take a look at her on some of my videos just to get a sense of how I treated her and how she looks. She looks fine as hell for now. For now is the key word. But she's not taking care of herself. All the genetic bullshit about her family having that fat gene factor where everyone blows up like a pumpkin patch, I don't buy it. She's lazy. She doesn't like to work out as hard as I do, or eats as smart as I do. She was doing weed. I wouldn't be surprised if she's still off and off of weed. I don't care what excuse. I was done, guys. So once I'm done, I'm done. So I swiped left, and it was during my break at the office. I was out grabbing coffee, and I was just on the app, just casually, it's fun. And so I just swiped left, and I just sat there for a few minutes thinking, wow, man, I gave this girl so much, and now some other guy is going to have to live up to that standard that I set, like the gold standard for dating. Like some other guy is going to have to live up to that. And she's not going to find it, because the type of men she's looking for is almost like myself, meaning that I think I have most of the qualities just from speaking with her. And just the way I treat her. She stayed with me for a year and a half, and vice versa. I stuck with her for a year and a half. So good luck finding the man of your dreams at 29, and someone who's going to want to put a rock on that finger. She knows very well how bad it is. And she's got her own reasons for wanting to be on there, and I'm not going to take that away from her. Most I know are there for a fun, good time, and not for a long time. But in this case, I don't know where this road is going to take her. You know, you're not going to find a lot of guys that say, let's go grab a drink, and not want to have sex right away, not want to jump in bed right away. We had 3 dates. On the third date, we actually ended up sleeping together. And these were nice dates, like casually speaking. We were vibing, happy. I miss her still. You know, I wouldn't be remiss to say that if she reached out to me and said, I want you back and I want to try this again, I would have taken her back, actually, because I know what the dating market is like, and it's shits, man. Some of these girls are whack. Like, it's not even close. Like, it's a little bit of the V8 magic here. See if I can make it here. Guys, I'm almost at work, and I'm just trying to zoom in and out. Okay, there we go. Today I'm driving a little bit crazier than normal because this topic's kind of got me riled up, and I kind of love it. So she's not going to find someone in there, in the dating app, that's going to say, let's go have a drink, and treat her that way, and of course spend the money and give her the lifestyle. For me, this wasn't so much about money, but now in hindsight, when I look back, I realize how much money I actually spent on her and tried to keep her happy. And despite doing all of these things and all the holidays I spent with her, the casinos I took her to, and we were just having a great time, I wouldn't say it's a failure on my part by any means. I'm actually a very put together man, as self-improvement in the best shape of my life. I look younger than my age, and I maintain myself. I'm hygiene. I smell good. I cook. I'm fit. I do a lot of things, man. And so for me, age for myself, the big 50 is not a factor. I don't look at it that way. It's your energy that speaks for itself, and how well you take care of yourself and treat your girlfriend or your girl, your date, whatever, right? So she's not gonna find it. She's back to the streets, and I think she's gonna get plowed, maybe flown out and blown out. But her time is up, guys. She doesn't have time, and I hate to put it that way, but she's gonna slam right into the damn wall, right? And that's what happens, right? It is what it is. Biology is biology, and you cannot tell men how to choose and what attraction is. Attraction is not symmetrical. It's asymmetrical. So it's different for a guy. What a guy finds attractive is not what necessarily a woman will find attractive in terms of age, body type, all these things, right? Experience, right? Sexual value, sexual marketplace value is a damn thing, and people don't accept it. People don't want to hear about it. So anyway, guys, I think I made my point, not to bag on her or anything like that, but I appreciate you all watching and tuning in. Until the next video, Mamba out.